Is this the Rolls-Royce of Les Paul guitars? Well, I think we can tell by these knobs that it is definitely not the Rolls-Royce of Les Pauls. But it is, in fact, a Bentley.
Bentley truck came with the shoes. Bentley truck, how can I lose?
Can't go wrong with that.
Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Beamer, Benz, a Bentley. Your scheming don't affect me.
Alright, so there's not a lot of information about Bentley guitars on the old internet. And to muddy the waters, there is a modern Bentley brand, although I think it's B-E-N-T-L-E-Y, Asian company that makes mostly acoustic guitars, I believe. But from what I can gather, and take this with a grain of salt, but I found this information on the internet, so you know it's got to be true.
Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
And you believed it?
Yeah, they can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
But Bentley was like the budget brand that was started by the St. Louis Music Supply Company. And I guess they were responsible for making Alvarez. And I believe this was built by Samick. I don't know how all that works together, but apparently it does. Lawsuit era. This is one of the lawsuit guitars.
And to all the players out there, what does this mean? It goes back to what we started talking about, being original and playing authentic.
As you can see by the open book headstock, it's pretty close. This inlay is obviously, you know, they're a little off on that. But she's still a pretty nice guitar, right? Let me turn the light on here. Got some nice rosewood fingerboard, nice and dark. Really nice. We got these mother of pearl inlays, block inlays. She's pretty sweet. The maple top is pretty nice. Let's see if I can do this without a ton of glare. No, I can't do that. But this is pretty nice, right? I mean, for the price I paid for it, god damn. Got a nice binding on there. But then, of course, when you do this, yeah.
And playing authentic.
I mean, that looks cool and all, but, you know, what it is obviously not cool, but that's fine. Again, price is always a factor. Here's the back. Again, some pretty nice wood grain, nice paint job, right? It's a bolt-on. Mahogany neck. I'm sorry, I'm like all twisted up in the twister game here.
Twister ties you up in a knot. That's Twister.
Holding this guitar for you. Yeah, it's a pretty nice guitar. I think I paid like 140 bucks for it, and they're advertised on Reverb for like twice that and up to a little bit more. But yeah, here she is. You gotta have a Les Paul in the collection, right? So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna set it up. Yeah, we're gonna set it up. Nothing to it but to do it. So here we go. Alright, so I believe the previous owner said when he got this guitar it was kind of gutted. And I believe he said he replaced all the electronics. It looks like he replaced all the electronics. Pickups, these are Amazon's finest or cheapest, one or the other. Knobs and pots, definitely the knobs, obviously. The pots look and feel like they're new. So all the electronics he had to install. I believe he installed a new nut. I think he said that, and I believe him because the nut height's kind of whack, especially on the skinny strings. Action isn't too bad. Yeah, that nut is whack. You can feel the strings are like this. Action's not too bad. String height is, you know, especially up here, yeah, we're a mile off the fretboard. So we're going to go through this and hopefully sort it all out and make it into a little workhorse. What I think we're going to do is I'll quickly check the relief in the neck, get that close to where we're at now, and then I'm going to go and sort out the nut height. You know, because, yeah, this nut's a basket case. So, yeah, check the action, adjust that a little bit if it needs it, and then we'll get out our little files and file out the nut and get the first fret action to where it should be, and then we'll restring it and go through the whole normal setup process. Alright, I checked the action, or the relief actually, and it's pretty much right where it should be, even though it feels kind of high up here. The truss rod is basically doing nothing. It's all the way loose. What else? String height is actually not too far off, but the biggest problem right now is the first fret action. We need to sort this out. Guitar World is saying that at the first fret high E string we want 15 thousandths of an inch, and then at the low E string they want 30. And then we'll kind of, you know, do one of these things. And right now the 15 thousandths shim is just swimming in there, so break out our little file that we bought, and we'll start hacking that down. Didn't have a whole lot of success the last time I did that, or maybe I had too much success actually. But we'll be more careful this time, and hopefully we'll get it right. Almost there. Alright, let me show you what I'm doing instead of talking about it. Before we get to that, if you're playing the home game, I believe the truss rod is a 5.5 millimeter. Yeah, so this set is perfect. Either that, it's like a what, a 1364s? Who knows? But it's a nice big fat chunky one, and it works good, so we'll survive. All right, so if you need to work on a nut, you need to work on your nuts.
That's what she said.
When I first cut new slots for a couple of my guitars, I used these silly things, and it's a lot of elbow grease, but for the high E and high B, these are basically useless. Got to go out and get these, at least a couple of the like a 10 thousandths and, you know, whatever this string is, 11.5, 12 thousandths for the B string. Little nut file saw or nut saw, and then you can go back with these and just, you know, smooth it up and round it out and finish it off. But this is definitely necessary equipment. If you don't have this, don't try and use this. Take it to a professional. Anyway, we're almost there. We're trying to get to 15 thousandths between the bottom of the string and the top of the fret. And I think one more round of what I'm doing will do it. So what we're doing is we're taking our file, and we want it to be, we don't want to be cutting at an angle this way, and we don't want to be cutting at an angle this way. We want to be flat, parallel, and perpendicular with how the string is lined up. And then once we have it all lined up and nice and straight, just going to very carefully just do a few cuts, and a little bit goes a long way. That's it. And you'll feel the nuts sawing out underneath you. And just do a little bit, check it, do a little more, check it, do it again, check it. Because you can always cut off more, but you can't add any back. And I go back with these things and just kind of smooth it out. Make it so the bottom is nice and round. And you know what I mean, all that good stuff. So we'll go back in here, put this guy back on, tune him up to pitch, and you're going to want to do this with an old set of strings, because tuning up to pitch and loosening again, and repeat, 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 one of these strings is bound to break. And then we'll check with our 15 thousandths feeler gauge. And there's still some more room in there. But before we do any more cutting, we'll pick it up and we'll play it, and we'll see how it feels. We definitely don't want this thing to sound like a sitar. It's not bad. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now. We're probably, I don't know, like 18 thousandths, 19 thousandths. But that feels pretty good, and I just don't want to take the chance of having this thing, you know, ending up in sitar mode. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, sorry. Gonna Gonna win an Oscar on this one. Okay, so that's the high E string, and then the B string is like super high, so it goes like this, and then whatever. You know what I mean. It's a basket case. Sort of like some of the people around here. Okay, I'm gonna do that to the rest of the strings, and then we'll pick it up from there. All right, we're done messing with our nuts here. And what a difference that made. And again, Guitar Player Magazine told us high E string we want 15 thousandths between the top of the fret and the bottom of the string, and then 30 thousandths on the low E string. So we did 15, and we added 3 for each one. So 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. All right, so now we're going to take these old crusty strings off and polish up the guitar, and restring her, and continue on with the setup process. Looks like this thing took a big digger.
Yeah?
Somewhere in its past life. And then the previous owner said I think he said he put these machine heads on there, and he must have stolen those from like a 5-string guitar, and then had to dig something else up to put in that guy there. I think if this guitar is usable and I keep it in the collection, I'll probably replace these with the Rotten Tooth tune and peg looking tuners. But anyway, before we clean it up, we're just going through all the screws and stuff, making sure everything was tight. This screw right here was a little loose, so gave her a little snugging up, and now we're going to break out the generic store brand Simple Green and give her a hose down, get all the DNA off of her. We're going to treat the rosewood fretboard with the Music Nomad F1 oil. And this is good for maple fretboards too. It doesn't stain it or anything, it just makes it look awesome. Can you see that? How does that look? Alright. Bust open the Music Nomad F1 oil. And a little bit goes a long way. It's like Morse code. Dab, 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 dab. Little dab will do you.
This man dared to use 2 dabs. Now he's in trouble. We refuse to be responsible.
Yes, it will every time. Alright, and then you just work it in there. You can use a rag, you can use a paper towel, it doesn't matter. Rag would probably be better so there's no lint, but we're using a paper towel. Look at that. Wow. That is a thing of beauty right there. Get it all in there. Might need a second coat. I mean, all things considered, if this guitar plays well and it's usable, it's really not a bad guitar. You know, for the price, 140 bucks, are you kidding me? Of course, you gotta upgrade the electronics and the tuning pegs. But, you know, you might do that anyway on any guitar. Look at that. Can you see that? That look nice? Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to do one more coat of that, and then she's all cleaned up. It'll be time to put the new strings back on. These bad boys right here that you can't see because it's in the dark. There you go. Going boomer. I gotta say, that is a really nice looking piece of rosewood right there. Nice and dark. Nice grain to it. Nice patterns, all that stuff. Inlays are coming up a little bit down here, but they'll be fine for another, whatever, what is it, 50 years? It'll be fine. Alright, let's string her up. Alright, I'm intonating the guitar. We're having a little problem here. A couple of these strings are a little sharp, so we need to lengthen the strings. But the bridge saddles can't go back any further to make the string longer. So I'm going to loosen all the strings, take this guy out, flip him around, put him back in, and see if we have any more trouble with the bridge in that position. Alright, so this is a major pain in the butt. So this bridge here, you see the pole pieces, or the bridge saddles. So these three are with the little angular ramp towards the front, towards the headstock. But I flipped it around and that just made the other three with the ramp towards the back. So it didn't really, it fixed one side and it screwed up the other side. So what I need to do to get this guitar to be able to intonate is I've got to turn these other three little ramps around so that all the ramps of the whole bridge face towards the headstock. And the way to do that is this little wire that sticks in. There's two little holes here, and this wire goes over the top of all the screws on the saddle so those don't fall out. So you pull that out and then you pop these suckers out, and hopefully we can turn the little ramps around. Yikes. Well, there it is. That's as good as it's going to get. The G string is a little bit sharp, but that's as far back as it's going to go. So it is what it is. Ain't the end of the world. Alright, I think we're done here. I'm going to put the door back on right here. The neck relief is a little low. The neck's a little bit straight. But, yeah, nothing we can do about that. Truss rod's at the end there. It's not doing anything. But it's not bad. It'll do. Alright, let's button her up and take her out for a test drive. Alright. Guitar's set up about as good as she's going to be. And I'd hope to do, a little demo. A couple of notes. I'm not a great guitar player, but give you an idea of what she sounds like. And the amp I have on my desk here is a clone of a Fender 5E3 Tweed Deluxe amplifier. And I think yesterday I was playing my Telecaster through this, and I was talking to my buddy, and I was telling him this amplifier sounds so amazing. It doesn't even sound like me. It sounds like Jeff Beck walked into my house and started jamming. But I finished setting this guitar up, plugged it into the 5E3 here, and it sounded like, a big giant can of smashed ass. It's like, a bucket of steel wool. It sounded horrible. And got sidetracked. I did some mods on this. I added a selectable bypass capacitor that's going from the bright channel of V1 into V2, the second gain stage. And that certainly helped, get rid of the farts and the general shittiness of the sound. But, yeah, I guess it's a commonly known issue that humbuckers and Tweed Deluxes don't really go together that nicely. But with the mod, it sounded pretty good. But, I have a hollow body with humbuckers, and it don't sound as shitty as this, so I don't really want to tear all this crap down and just to play horribly on YouTube for you. But I can say, on a different amplifier, I'm sure it sounds good. Because acoustically, it sounds really nice. And I think the real problem is these pickups. Previous owner, the guy that sold it to me, told me these were the cheapest pickups he could find on Amazon, just so we could have something in there. So, it is what it is. If you see one of these out there for sale, in a more original condition with original, electronics, how will it sound? I don't know, but certainly if you replace the pickups with something nice, some Seymour Duncans or something like that. It's really not a bad guitar. I mean, for the price that these are going for a beginner or a student or someone like me that just, you know, has an affinity for cheap guitars that play good, it's not a bad deal. It looks pretty. It's very much a Les Paul shaped object for sure. Nice paint job, nice looking. Yeah, it's not a bad guitar. I think it's well worth the money I paid for it. But I am working on something, a recording, and I think I know how to use this guitar, even with this amplifier, and make it sound good. And just a little hint what that might be. So there you go, something to look forward to. Hopefully I've piqued your interest and you can see how this bad boy gets used in that. So thanks for coming, hope you enjoyed the video, and rock on, dudes and dudettes.
Done.